Okay, microphone's on. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the August 23rd meeting of the Merrimack Trustees of Trust Funds. As usual, we'll start with introductions. I'm Chris Christensen, and to my right is...
Bill Wilkes, trustee.
And to my left.
Kathy Schur, alternate.
Liz Petrides, trustee.
And the first order of business is approval of the minutes of June 21st. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of June 21st as written.
I will second.
Any discussion, corrections, omissions, additions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 300. Okay. We've talked about this a little bit before. This is our annual opportunity to review and approve the investment policy. I have a revised copy here based on the stuff we talked about at the June meeting, which basically adds a 10% factor to growth stocks in the common income fund. So,
Did we change the percent on the interest or goal for income?
it's still a range of 2.5% to 4%.
Okay.
We increased it to 4%.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
So any other, well, let me pass out a copy. It's folded to where we need your signature. And I have 4 copies here, so we all need to sign at some point. Paul is not coming today, by the way. He's involved in the preparation for the auditors, who are starting their duties Monday.
Do you want me to sign this one?
Well, I think we should probably vote. Yes, we're going to sign them all. Vote to approve. Do we have a motion to approve the revised policy?
I will motion we approve the revised investment policy that will be effective
Today.
August 23rd, 2024 for the upcoming year.
Other comments? Second first.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? This is basically the one that was emailed to you I think earlier this week and also last month. Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 300, if you would all,
Do we sign all 4 copies?
yes, please.
Okay.
Then we have originals with wet signatures for the bank and the town clerk and whoever else thinks they need it. The next item we have to approve is the annual reports. They were emailed to everybody. I'm not going to pass them out. I didn't print them out because some of them are 20 pages long, some of them are 30 pages long. So they're better off being done electronically.
Do you want a motion on that?
Yes. One for the 9s and one for the 10s.
I will motion we approve the annual report for the MS9 report.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And the MS-10?
I will motion that we approve the MS10 report as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I will file the electronic versions over the weekend. There is also a report, it's a derivative of the MS9, the MS10 on cemeteries. And we're required by law to submit a list of the cemetery accounts to the selectmen or town council in our case, once a year. So we will do that with the one that was submitted to us. I had an email yesterday from Last Rest Cemetery. They would like to be on our agenda for September. And in connection with that, I've emailed Lisa Turanjo, who's our representative at Cambridge Trust, to see about separating out in a separate report the Last Rest grave sites and the related accounts. Apparently what's happening, I hear this verbally, is the cemetery trustees are concerned that it takes them more time and effort to maintain the old grave sites, the ones that are close to the road and close to the Church Street side of the cemetery, because they're the ground is uneven, and some of them have stone fences around them and other things that require a lot of handwork. I don't know if they're going to be able to identify them or whatever. We'll have that discussion with them next month. But just so you know, that's upcoming.
Chris, I've signed 3 of these. Did you say there were 4?
There's
Yes.
a couple more coming.
Wait a minute. All right, you got that one. You did not get this one. I also have here received in the mail this isn't really on the agenda, but I'm just going to pass it around so you can read it. It's a thank you note from a student who received the Tim Gibson Memorial Scholarship last May, or June, when they actually handed them out, I guess. Next item coming up, Watkins Forest Site Walk. For those who are not familiar with it, we own 2 parcels of forest land donated as part of Harry Watkins' will in 1965. One on Lawrence Road and one that's between Mitchell Street and Profile Drive. The official entrance is really a right-of-way on Profile, but we really access it mostly from Mitchell Street because the town owns a parcel there. And the MVD is planning a couple of wells on the Mitchell Street property. And some years ago, we gave them an easement because the wellhead protection area would overlap onto our land. We can still do forestry operations, but they can't put a landing area there or anything else that would involve trucking and dripping oil and whatever else might occur in a construction site. But we haven't done anything with the forest since, excuse me, I think we did a site walk in 2018, and we had some conversations with the forester 2021, where he updated our town reports that we're required to file periodically for tree farm standards. So the question comes up, I don't think we've done any harvesting since 2002, and we're getting to the point where we might do that. And I, just putting this out for planning purposes, that we might want to do a site walk in September or October. I don't know who's interested in that, but we've done it with the forester, and he kind of goes through and points out this, that, and the other thing. If you're a forester, it makes a lot of sense to you. Other than that, sometimes we just have to kind of nod. But I have contacted him in that regard, and he will be taking a look at the scheduling and what the forest things are. And see if we want to do anything, and he'll let us know. One of the provisions in the will was that before doing a harvest, we have to go to town meeting and get a positive vote from the town meeting. So that involves getting on the agenda, which means getting a warrant article in January to be approved in February, to go on the warrant in March, and then people vote on it in April. So there's a long lead time there to do that. That doesn't mean we have to do a cut in 2025, but at least that would get us into the cycle if we want to do a cut.
I would be interested in a site walk sometime in October. September wouldn't be great for me.
Okay?
I would also go, as long as it's during the week and we have some advance notice.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too.
As long as it's during the week, okay.
That'd be my preference. Weekends are getting booked up already.
I'm sure that's preferable to the forester
That's what
too.
I figured.
This is the one over by the dump, and then where's this?
Mitchell Street, which is off Babusick
Mitchell.
Lake
Yeah.
Road. Yeah, the last time we discussed it was 2021, because during the COVID pandemic, building material prices were skyrocketing. We said, oh, maybe we should be harvesting now. And the explanation at the time was the value of the timber on the stump hadn't changed much. The price increases were due to handling costs, shipping costs, transportation, all of those things that were done after the mill. So our property wasn't worth any more in 2021 than it had been in 2018. So, just so you know that. But the gist of it is that in Harry Watkins' will, he gave us the land to be maintained as town forest. And when harvested, the money would go into a separate account called the Watkins Forest Income Fund. And there's a couple $100,000 in that fund now, having been forested 2 or 3 times and resulting investment benefits, growth.
What was the provision on what that fund was to be used for? The income?
Grade schools.
Okay.
Well, grade 1 through 8. We didn't have kindergarten, we didn't have high school in those days. Okay, correspondence. I just passed around that thank you letter. The library has requested $4,000 from the Patterson, Lawrence, and Carroll Fund. So we need to approve that. And they've requested $2,000 from the Lawrence Fund. So both of those are dedicated to the library. And we need a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for $4,000 from the Patterson, Lawrence, and Carroll Fund.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think I know the answer to this, but we're just, if we have it and it's available and they ask for it, we just approve it. We don't have any question as far as what they're doing with it, correct?
Right, the bequests for the library, in some instances, specify for children's books or for children's materials. I think they say books. And there's another one that says for fiction or some such. But we don't have any control over that. We're just supposed to give them the money, and the bequests, instructions are up to them to follow.
The library trustees approve this before it comes over to us, is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
We have to vote on that.
Liz motion, Bill second, all in favor?
Aye.
300. And $2,000 from the Lawrence Fund.
Make a motion to approve $2,000 from the Lawrence Fund to the library.
Second. A little slow this morning.
Yeah, me too.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 300. And here's an odd one. We received a check for $157.53 for the Watkins Fund. Actually, it was for Fund C, back in the days when we had Fund A, B, C, and D. And we were with Ameriprise in those days. And I'm guessing, without any other explanation, that there was some sort of legal action with a particular equity holding, that the courts ordered some sort of settlement, and our share of the settlement was $157.53. So I've deposited that. The question was, and we have no real way of knowing, whether it should be principal or income. So for lack of better direction initially, I let Lisa put it into the principal fund. The fund has couple $100,000 in principal and a similar amount in income. So out of a couple $100,000 in either direction, $150 in either one isn't going to make any substantial difference. So I'm happy to leave it in principle, but if somebody wants to make a case for doing something different, I'm happy to accommodate.
I'm good with what you did. I will leave it there.
I'm just going to say by consensus then. Okay. I guess this would be the July and the August copies of Dividend Investor. Who wants which? Going once, going twice?
Right, you
Kathy?
take one.
Okay, I'll take one.
I'll take one.
Doesn't matter
It's
which.
available, unless you want it, Liz.
No, it's okay. You can have it this time.
Along with,
I'll get next
You
one.
don't wanna read this tomorrow?
I'll make free time. I'll get it next month.
along with that, we got a bill to renew the subscription. The funding for that, if we renew it, comes out of general government. It doesn't come out of any of our funds. And the subscription is $259 a year.
What does everybody think?
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's consistent with our philosophy and, of dividend investing, and I think gives us a little bit of a better diversified background when we're talking with Cambridge Trust about our various holdings.
Well, if you see something in here and it sends up a flag, and then you see something in their portfolio, then it gives us a little
Yeah.
bit of ammunition to say, why are you buying or selling or whatever?
Yeah.
So I would motion that we approve the renewal of the dividend investor, Morningstar dividend investor.
Do we need a
Monthly
motion on this
report.
one?
Well, it's an expenditure of money, so yes.
I'll second.
Any comments, Kathy?
No, I just started reading these a couple of months ago, and they're quite informative, but I don't have any other basis to analyze it, so.
I mean, there's several holdings that they
Yeah.
talk about. I'm just looking at this one right now. There's several holdings that they talk about in here that are held in the portfolios
Mhm.
that we're responsible to oversee.
Very good.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Just as an aside, are there other publications that people look at?
Well, there's all kinds of things. I mean,
Right.
Barron's is a very good source, and, you know, there's,
Yep.
Investors Business Daily, Wall Street Journal, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
I think the town subscribes to Wall Street Journal and we receive it online. Bob Levan used to get it before anybody could spell online.
How was this one chosen? Has it just been historically what we've used?
No,
or-
when we left, let me rephrase that. When Larry Hodkinson, who was our representative at Ameriprise, retired, they had nobody who was interested in supporting us. They really wanted to sell us mutual funds
Mhm.
and not do individual equity investments. So we looked around for various publications, and we started managing the funds ourselves. At that time, in the common funds, we had about $2 million. And it became obvious after some period of time that we were doing pretty good, but you can't manage millions of dollars in one meeting a month.
Right, right.
So we got this as a backup. And those same funds now, we've spent all the money that we're supposed to spend, but now the corpus is up to about $7 million.
Mhm.
So we did very well. In part, we held a lot of utilities for the dividends during the 2008 to 2016 timeframe. And because CDs and other fixed income things were paying 0.5% or
Mhm.
less, people all over the country were chasing dividends. So our dividend equity strategy fed right into that, and everything was just growing. It was a very fortuitous sense of direction
Mhm.
from that point of view, but it stood us well on a continuing basis. Anything to add, either Liz, Bill?
well, there's always an inverse relationship between dividend rates and the price of a high-yielding security, whether it be utilities or equity or bonds.
Mhm.
So you can benefit when rates go down like that.
Okay. Thank you all. We've got that thank you note from Benjamin Bessel.
That was a very nice thank you note.
Yeah, it was.
So you've got a photocopy of it there. I sent the original on to the Gibson family.
Very nice.
Okay. Stretching this out as much as we can.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
So we have future meetings September 20th, and I do think I will be here for that. I originally told you that I wasn't gonna be here, but I think I will be here. October 18th, suggestion, maybe we see if we can get the forester to come that day, and we'll go to the site right after the meeting.
I'm fine with
That's a
that.
good idea.
Okay,
As a suggestion.
there was also a question about the November meeting. We haven't scheduled it yet, but in terms of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving comes very late this year. I think it's the 28th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 28th, so it's almost the end
So
of
that's
the
very late in the year. I don't know how many people take that as a long weekend. So the what would be the Monday, but it's Friday before, that would be
22nd.
22nd.
22nd, or the 15th, which would actually be the third Wednesday.
Wednesday or Friday?
I'm sorry.
Friday, yeah.
We don't have to make up our minds now, but take a look at your travel plans.
Yep.
If there's something coming up, and we will mention that also to Cambridge Trust, so they have a warning if they want to do any travel plans themselves.
I mean, conceptually, I wouldn't do it the day after Thanksgiving.
No,
We gotta set up Christmas trees, racks. There's a lot going on that
There
Friday.
is, there is.
The week of the 11th, obviously, we have Veterans Day, so it's a short week, the week of the 11th.
well,
But
and I
the
think
2 weeks.
on the
22nd,
the
22nd
day-
would be
day
the
after
following.
Thanksgiving
Better.
is, I think it may be a holiday. I think town hall may be closed.
Day after Thanksgiving? Oh, probably, yeah. It's usually a 4-day weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what town hall does, but
Yeah.
put it in pencil the 22nd.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with
I'll
that,
be here.
too.
So, anything else that may be desirable to talk about, act on? Don't all speak at once.
So we're planning on having Cambridge Trust in November?
Yes.
Is December the month that we don't have a meeting, or is it January?
December and July.
Okay.
I suppose we could meet in July if you want to.
No,
But
In your time machine.
Usually, it's the first month of the fiscal year. There's not a lot going on except waiting until August when reports are done and that kind of stuff. So there's not much going on, and people doing vacations and so forth.
I think, given the fact that this would fit into a perfect 30-minute segment on television, we should adjourn.
We are adjourned, there being no further business.
9:30.